Good day, everyone. I hope you are all doing fine. We are students from the College of Business Education taking up Bachelor of Science in Accountancy. My name is Alicia Grace Sigawat.
I am Julian Torrado.
And I am Bea Claire Kabakungan.
Today, we are going to do a case analysis presentation about Melaco Enterprise Corporation's dilemma. In this presentation, we have three agendas. First is to explain briefly the case background. Second is to determine the problems arising from the case. And lastly, give the underlying solutions and courses of actions to be made by the company. Melaco Incorporation offers tracking services for deliveries of raw materials and finished goods. Melaco's primary customer was San Miguel Corporation. Aside from SMB, significant customers of the company includes Emperador and Tanduay. According to the case of Melaco Enterprise Corporation, the company recorded unaccounted losses amounted to almost 11% of the year's total revenue. Harry Stan, the acting chief operation manager of the company, found out that significant losses came from the negligence of their administrative and accounting staff from not following up billings of their customers, resulting from lack of cash inflows and tendency of overlooking the aging of accounts receivable. The problem was worsened with the reported overdrafts and high cash advances by the company's truck drivers. The Human Resource Department also reported the truck drivers planned to boycott their deliveries because of significantly low salaries, unfair treatment, and lack of fringe benefits for them. In this presentation, we are going to give recommendations and action taken by the company to resolve such dilemmas and to avoid Melaco Enterprise Corporation from experiencing significant risk and dangers in the future.
These are the problems we gathered from the Melaco Enterprise Corporation case. Systematic and financial management problems and challenges about employees' compensation and working conditions. First, how should the administrative and accounting staff of Melaco Enterprise Corporation solve the problem with regards to the delays of billing and aging of accounts? Then, how to motivate the human backbone of trucking companies, specifically drivers, with respect to their performance in delivering the raw materials or finished products to the customers. Next is how to avert drivers to pilfer fuel, raw materials, or finished products that they transported. Lastly, what are the possible measures for Melaco Incorporation to allow for the possibility to increase profitability in their trucking operations?
Upon discovering the problems, presenters found solutions to alleviate such dilemmas arising from the company. Solutions include utilizing invoice tracking and accounting software, providing just compensation to truck drivers, and giving them benefits that they should get from being an employee of the company, and making use of transportation modeling to find least cost means of delivering items to customers. We are going to tackle these solutions one by one and present their benefits for the company.
With accordance to their corporate mission to extend the best tracking services to their customers and to create value to shareholders, Melaco Enterprise Corporation should utilize the technological advancement that we have nowadays by using an advanced invoice tracking and accounting software. Online invoicing and accounting software is sufficient to improve the cash flow of Melaco Incorporation. To prevent such delays of billing and overlooking of aging of accounts receivables, administrative staff should have this software because it has a customized invoice template and details that will provide an easily managed invoice status pertaining to paid, unpaid, and overdue billings. On the other hand, issues of the drivers in terms of unaccounted losses is inevitable. However, with this tracking software, Operations Manager will instantly detect if instances occur such as overdrafts and multiple cash advances. Using this software, company can reduce their overall costs. The use of an accounting program allows each member of the accounting team to do more in a given time, thus in turn, reducing the accounting department's payroll and administration costs. The counting software automates most of the core calculations and administrative procedures and thereby also take control of the revenue framework so that businesses will not be required to outsource finance management to an external expert. An automated invoice tracking system can relieve the hassle of reconciling supplier invoices with purchase orders, credit memos, and delivery receipts.
In this case, high cash advances and overdrafts are often practiced by the truck drivers. Truck drivers also complain for the low salaries and unfair treatment of the company in terms of benefits. This dissatisfaction of the key players of the company led the drivers to plan boycotting their deliveries. Let's analyze further the causes of truck drivers' plan to boycott the company's delivery using the Fishbone cause and effect diagram. Basically, the Fishbone diagram or the Ishikawa diagram is used to identify all the factors that have an impact on a certain problem. Causes are being categorized as measurement, personnel, machine, environment, materials, and method. By analyzing the diagram, it can be identified that the main problem is the financial support and benefits for the truck drivers. With that being said, Melaco Enterprise Corporation should give their drivers a tip for a smooth and uninterrupted ride to be able for them to appreciate their effort, time, and willingness to do their job as diligently as the company wants to. According to the research conducted by researchers for the International Society of Performance Improvement entitled Incentives, Motivations, and Workplace Performance, incentive programs can increase employees' performances by as much as 44%. Hence, incentives must be given to encourage drivers to be focused and be committed to their morals and values that they should practice to in their line of work. By giving incentives, employees will be thrilled to commit their time and effort in providing exemplary services and be efficient in their respective jobs as they get rewards for doing such.
In the case of Melaco, the company incurs unaccountable losses for their past tracking operations. So they are looking for possible ways to decrease the operating expenses. In return, they will generate more income for the company. With that, we suggest that using transportation modeling will help them resolve distribution and location decisions, which will give them the chance to decrease their operating expenses. Transportation modeling determines how to route products in a situation where there are several destinations in order that the total shipping cost will be minimized. Transportation modeling finds the least means cost of shipping supplies from several origins to destinations. Origin points or sources are the warehouses, factories, offices, or any other points where the goods are shipped, while destinations are any points that receive the goods. To use the transportation model, the company should know the origin points and the capacity or supply per period at each, the destination points, and the demand per period at each. Moreover, the cost of shipping one unit from each origin to destinations. Northwest corner rule is a procedure in the transportation model where one starts at the upper left-hand cell of a table and systematically allocates units to shipping routes. The following steps are as follows. First, exhaust the supply of each row before moving down to the next row. Exhaust the warehouse requirements of each column before moving to the next column on the right. Lastly, check to ensure that all supplies and demands are met. An intuitive method is a cost-based approach to finding an initial solution to a transportation problem. This approach uses the following steps. First, identify the cell with the lowest cost. Break any ties for the lowest cost arbitrarily. Second, allocate as many as units possible to that cell without exceeding the supply or demand. Then cross out the row or column or both that is exhausted by this assignment. Find the cell with the lowest cost from remaining cells, not cross out. Lastly, repeat steps 2 and 3 until all units have been allocated. On the other hand, the stepping stone algorithm is then used for finding optimal solutions. The stepping stone method will help the company to move from an initial feasible solution to optimal solution. It is used to evaluate the cost-effectiveness of shipping goods via transportation routes not currently in the solution. This method will provide you a better understanding in allocating and determining the possible routes to take in order to reduce the operating expenses of the company. The company will conduct the tests as follows. First, select any unused square to evaluate. Second, beginning at this square, trace a closed path back to the original square via squares that are currently being used. Only horizontal and vertical are permissible. You may, however, step over either an empty or unoccupied square. Third, beginning with a plus sign at the unused square, place alternating minus signs and plus signs on each corner square of the closed path just trace. Fourth, calculate an improved index by first adding the unit cost figures found in each square containing a plus sign, and then by subtracting the unit cost in each square containing a minus sign. Lastly, repeat steps 1 and 4 until you've calculated an improved index for all unused optimal solutions. If not, the current solution can be improved to further decrease total shipping cost. In conclusion, Melaco should use the transportation model to decrease operating expenses in order for the company to reduce the unaccountable losses. At the same time, to find a better solution that will generate income for the following years of service in the trucking industry.
The corporate mission of Melaco Enterprise Corporation is supported by creating a team environment for their employees that enables them to provide superior value for their customers. Thus, they are entitled to be the principal or backbone of the company. The purpose of this study is to improve the company's services to their clients and making continuous growth and discovering new opportunities for their company. By utilizing technological advancement through invoice tracking and accounting software, analysis of the cause and effect of actions taken by truck drivers using the Fishbone effect model, and providing employees incentives through lowering companies' operating expenses through the use of transportation modeling, the company could mitigate future risk and prevent company from having further losses, thus creating value for the company's shareholders and delivering exemplary services to the customers safely.
That would be all for our presentation for Melaco Enterprise case. Have a good day ahead and keep safe.